Today we begin our journey through the 1980s icon, the A-Team. We start with the first 3 episodes and rate them on a scale of, you've guessed it, fans out of 10, and revealing some details along the way. Let's rewind. We start with a rare cold open. A reporter is captured in Mexico, and his colleague decides to track down and hire the A-Team to save him. Hannibal is working as an actor playing the Aquamaniac, setting up the fact that Hannibal's hiding in plain sight as a B-movie monster actor. Face and BA arrive to warn him that Colonel Lynch is closing in. Colonel Lynch is played by William Lucking, with over 160 credited roles, including Sons of Anarchy. Now cue the car chase through the back of a lot of a movie studio, which just so happens to be Universal Studios. Meanwhile, Amy finds Murdock just before Lynch questions him. Now here's where Dwight Schultz nails it. Murdock's real or acted insanity drives Lynch away, and that sly smile, moment you realize he's playing chess while the Colonel's playing checkers. Later, Amy meets Mr. Lee and the old man. This is huge. It's the only time we see Hannibal in this disguise. After the pilot, it's referenced, never shown again. The team coordinates their plans to a call-in radio show which doubles as a secret ops channel. Face Con's use of a jet. That jet, by the way, a Gulfstream 2, November 8000 Juliet, was originally used by Northrop and delivered in January of 1969. Critics weren't thrilled with Tim Dunnigan's take on Face, but in my opinion, it doesn't hurt the episode much. BA's Fair Flying gets its debut here. Now in Mexico, and based on the dialogue, the team has used the guise of American film crew before. They're filming a movie for 20th Century Fox, but here's the thing. The A-Team show was actually produced at Universal. You'd never see a competing studio mentioned in a script today. Ironically, however, the 2010 movie was made at Fox. A bar fight backs them into exactly what they need. Contact with Manny Cortez. Once in the village of San Rio Blanco, the A-Team relies on the locals and builds their improvised vehicles in the first what will become the show's signature move, the assembly montage sequence. They use that vehicle and go to battle, however they're eventually captured. And they meet the man they came to rescue, but let's be honest, if you think they're trapped, you haven't been paying attention. Escape is inevitable and they make it look easy. However, just when they're ready to leave, Colonel Lynch somehow shows up in Mexico to try to detain them. He fails, of course, and they take off with Amy, who's now officially part of the team. The episode closes with Murdock flipping the jet upside down, complete with a cheesy inverted shot and that classic action freeze-frame credit roll. It's chaotic, it's charming, and perfectly sets the tone for the wild ride ahead. Being a feature-length pilot that was later split into 2 parts, the pacing here seems a little slower than the episodes that followed, but that's part of its charm. Bigger, more cinematic, and it sets the tone for everything to come. The 2-hour kickoff that gave us disguises, explosions, and the mix of heart and comic relief. Oh yeah, that iconic van? It hasn't even made its first appearance yet. Overall, I give Mexican Slayride a solid 8 vans out of 10. Now, let's rewind to Children of Jamestown, where things take a darker turn. Cults, kidnappings, and the team being captured, and a showdown with explosive results. It kicks off with a voiceover by Hannibal, setting the stage. A young girl's been taken by a cult, and the team is already on the scene. This is the only time in the series where an opening narration by George Papard was used. The episode gives us another milestone, the first appearance of the van, which was originally just a forgotten prop in the backlot, not even a custom build. It was just quickly primed and painted. Murdock awaits on the ground in a helicopter with the girl's father, while Hannibal, Face, and Amy stage a distraction, posing as campers to rescue her. The plan works, but the team is soon pursued. Murdock escapes to the girl and her father in the helicopter, which, by the way, was in 1979 Hughes 369D, also used in several other shows, including Airwolf and the movie Blue Thunder. The rest of the team is captured, and they're taken to the cult compound, complete with one of the most useless gates in history. I mean, look at it. It's just a gate. It's not even attached to a perimeter. And if you look closely, you can spot the camera rig and lights reflected in Martin James's sunglasses. This occurs several times in the episode. Reverend James is played by John Saxon, who has around 200 credits to his name, including another episode of the A-Team, and later in Beverly Hills Cop 3. Locked up, the team discovers the building is bugged and starts plotting their escape. There's a nice bit of character development here as Hannibal and Face try to calm Amy, teaching her a few survival and mental resilience tricks, including how to deal with the potential of giving the ultimate sacrifice. Murdock drops off the girl and her father and heads back to help, while the team meets the cult leader, the sadistic Martin James. After a mock trial, he finds the team guilty and vows revenge. They're sent off for punishment, being chased by his devout followers. Evading capture, the team reaches a nearby farm. Using Amy as bait, they subdue one of the guards and take shelter of the local farmer and his daughter. It turns out, the cult's been scamming them as well. And Face, although injured, naturally turns on the charm. In true A-Team fashion, they discover a barn full of spare parts and start building. Murdock scams some dynamite, and we cue the montage. A flamethrower gets mounted to the newly acquired Jeep, and they storm the compound, crashing through the gate, blowing out the fuel tanks, and destroying the guard tower. The chaos didn't end there as they led the cultists back to the farm where the trap was set, pressurized tanks flying, and dynamite raining down from above, courtesy of Murdock. The team came out on top. Martin James was dejected. Just as things are wrapping up, the army began to close in on the location. Face tried to make his smooth exit, but of course Murdock had to ruin his moment. Typical. Back at the compound, the rescued kids are leaving. Hannibal reclaimed his boots, and had that signature grin and cigar. So that's Children of Jamestown. Cults, chaos, and explosions. The formula's locked in now. Bold plans, more explosions, and 0 casualties. My rating for this one, a solid 8 fans out of 10. Now, let's rewind to pros and cons. Pros and cons opens in a backwood prison in Strikersville, Florida, where the warden runs an illegal fight club. 2 inmates forced to fight to the death. When the victor refused to finish the job, the warden offered him freedom for exactly 10 seconds. Then he sent his guards to hunt him down like an animal. It's not escape, it's sport. Fun fact, that warden, it's Clifton James, who also played the role of Sheriff Pepper in 2 Roger Moore James Bond films. Perfect casting for a loud, corrupt Southern prison boss. Back in L.A., B.A. is mentoring kids at community center. One of them, Joey, gets mixed up with his older brother Jace, the same prisoner who's on the run from Strikersville. Jace is played by William Smith, who is credited in over 270 roles spanning a career that lasted 7 decades, was also a world-class athlete and bodybuilder. Hannibal disguises his own agent trying to secure another monster role. When B.A. shows up to drag him away from the mission, Amy agrees to help by posing as a reporter covering prison reform. Face cooks up a plan to infiltrate the prison disguised as reform advocate named Dr. Dwight Pepper. Yes, that's right, Dr. Pepper. Oh, that photo? It's actually Stephen J. Cannell, the creator of the series. After a cross-country road trip and somehow having a fully functioning printing press in the van, the plan kicks into gear. To replace the cover of the book with one containing the photo of Face, Hannibal B.A. Murdock deliberately get arrested. Oh, Hannibal's cover, a flamboyant hairdresser. B.A.'s his deaf-mute client. The warden immediately wants to see if B.A. can fight, while Murdock ends up in the prison psych ward, obsessed with, you've got it, trash bags. After a few scuffles, B.A. proves himself and gets roped in the prison's underground fighting program. Face arrives as Dr. Pepper and tries to con the warden into a rehab program that includes, you've guessed it, hairstyling. The warden refused, but when he realized the conversation was secretly recorded, he panicked and started to play along. Meanwhile, Murdock kept running his trash bag hustle. Now Hannibal and B.A. located Jace inside the prison, and the plan started to take shape. Soon, the team's equipment started arriving under the guise of beauty supplies, while Amy and Face tried to bluff their way past suspicious nurse who had the original book by flashing their fake copy that Face supposedly wrote. Hannibal and Murdock began to overpower the nurse, locked her in, and started to make their break for it. Face just strolled out of the prison just before the alarm sounded, while the other 2 began to float over the wall with their makeshift hot air balloons. Face picked them up, and they drove to Amy's location, crashing through the warden's illegal prison fight just in time, while using automatic fire to subdue the crowd and his co-conspirators, and will turn his own camera footage against him. Back in L.A., Jace's record is cleared, the warden's corruption is exposed, the team leave to fight another day. The closing gag brings us full circle. Hannibal, still disguised as an agent, pitching another movie role. When news of the prison scandal breaks, he pauses, almost ready to reveal himself, then grins and keeps the act going. A warden gets taken down by his own greed, proving the A-Team doesn't always need to blow things up, just a well-executed con. I give this one 8.5 vans. Across the first 3 episodes, the team found its rhythm, the van got its shine, and the formula we came to love was locked in. Join me next time as we rewind through the next episodes. And until then, don't get charged those late fees. Hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments which one of these was your favorite. And remember, be kind, rewind.